Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is vowing that Hamas will no longer rule Gaza. Netanyahu made those comments yesterday while visiting an area of Gaza where he also offered $5 million for each hostage released. It comes as the UN Security Council is expected to vote on a ceasefire resolution in Gaza for the 12th time. Foreign correspondent Marcus Moore joins me with the latest on that. Marcus, how significant is this visit Netanyahu made to Gaza yesterday and the reward he's now offering for the release of hostages?
Well, hey, Diane, it's a hugely significant event. It's certainly meant to send a message. The fact that he was in Gaza, on the ground, to see the situation there with his own eyes. And this was in an area that really separates the northern part of Gaza from the southern part there. This is an area where Israeli forces have been dug in for months. And it was also where the prime minister has vowed to find all of the hostages and return them home. As you know, he has been under immense pressure domestically to secure a deal or some way to bring the remaining hostages home, as well as the bodies of those who have died in captivity. But so far, a ceasefire deal has been elusive. And the belief is right now that a ceasefire deal would be the best way to bring those hostages home. But as you just mentioned, Diane, for the very first time, the prime minister also mentioned a $5 million reward for each hostage who is returned. And so we'll just have to see what happens next from here.
Marcus, the UN Security Council is expected to vote on a ceasefire resolution in Gaza today. In June, the council passed a U.S.-drafted ceasefire deal approved by President Biden, but the fighting's only gotten worse. So will these resolutions, if this resolution passes now, does that really make a difference?
Yeah, you know, there's not a lot of confidence, to be honest with you, Diane, among a number of people who are waiting to see what this vote will mean, because you've already acknowledged there have been 12 such votes since this war began, and a number of proposals that have been voted on, the U.S. has vetoed. One of the key sticking points of any of the resolutions that have come out is the call for an unconditional and permanent ceasefire. That is something that the Israelis have been against and that the U.S. has supported with a veto vote in previous resolutions that have come up.
And Marcus, according to the Hamas-run health ministry, the death toll is nearing 44,000. How dire is the humanitarian crisis in Gaza right now?
By all accounts, Diane, the humanitarian situation has not improved. In fact, we heard from aid groups who put out a joint statement last week saying that the situation has gotten particularly or drastically worse in the north. We had been following reports recently of aid trucks that were looted as they entered Gaza, and truck drivers who apparently were held at gunpoint as those trucks were unloaded. And so we're following these reports of this happening, and at the end of the day, while there have been efforts to get aid into that region, innocent people are still suffering, Diane. They still can't get the basic needs of food, water, and medicine.
All right, foreign correspondent Marcus Moore, thank you.